The future is bright for Kenya as the country moves to connect rural areas with electricity through mini and off-grid stations. Despite numerous challenges, there is an indication that the country will achieve universal access by the year 2020. Wendo reports.
Currently, over 1.1 billion people in the world lack access to electricity, with 87% of them living in the rural areas. Of these numbers, 88% live in Africa and Asia.
Many of the world's poor live in villages, which are typically too far from the main grid to be connected, and that within the next 10 years. It is simply too costly, and the high dispersion of rural population also render the grid extension unfeasible. This is particularly true for sub-Saharan Africa, where an overwhelming majority of the population is expected to be in rural areas for the foreseeable future.
Due to infrastructural constraints, governments across Africa have adopted the use of mini-grids to supply power to rural areas far from the national grid.
We believe that mini-grids offer a promising solution to power these rural areas and stimulate economic growth. We are committed to taking their development to the next level, and this is really why we are here today. The bank has been supporting mini-grid in countries such as Kenya, Mali, Tanzania, Liberia, or Nepal. And to date, more than $90 million has been allocated to those mini-grid programs.
The Kenya off-grid program to electricity remote centers have been running since the late 1970s. Currently, there were about 21 mini-grid stations, but I'm happy to announce that the first transmission line to Northeastern was commissioned by His Excellency the President last Friday. And another transmission line was commissioned, it is not yet commissioned, but is ready to Lamu. So the 21 stations will be reduced to 19, has been reduced to 19 as we are talking this morning.
The Kenyan government, through the Last Mile Connectivity Program, has increased connectivity over the last 1 year exponentially in a bid to meet its target of universal access by the year 2020.
The current connectivity, as you've been told, is 53%. There has been a lot of work since 2013 when the connectivity was 29%. As we are talking now this morning, from 1st July up to now, up to yesterday, we've connected 960,000 new customers. And our target was 1 million before the end of the financial year. So you can see that within the next 1 month, we'll be able to surpass the 1 million. And also our target for next financial year, 2016-2017, is another 1 million. That will be able to take us to the 70% connectivity by the year 2017.
Implementation of off-grid solutions to supplement these efforts has seen 99% of primary schools across the country access electricity.
The ministry has been leading in development of solar energy with a very successful program of installing solar photovoltaic system in public institutions which are remote from the grid. These include secondary and primary schools, health facilities, and administrative offices. To date, there are about 1,780 institutions which have received solar PV systems with a combined installed capacity of 2.4 megawatts at a total cost of about Kenya shillings 3 billion.
However, participation of independent power producers is still low. Currently, there is only one registered private sector power supplier in the market, an indication of tough barriers to entry.
Uncertainty, lack of rules is something that usually keeps the private sector away. There are few countries today that have a clear policy and regulation about mini-grid. And I think the private sector should work with regulatory authorities and government to set up, based on the experience that we have so far, what are the rules of the game.
Their continued development will require transformation in how countries conceptualize and finance energy systems. Investment capital has traditionally been limited as lending institution, and have been cautious about providing capital to government and businesses without strong in-country track record. But recently, technology and institutional innovation, as well as cost reduction, have made mini-grid a more attractive option.
The government will facilitate favorable climate for entry of private sector in this sector. In a bid to assist with uptake, the government removed duty on solar panels and lanterns. The government also set up quality testing and certification programs in a bid to erase a possibility of market spoilage caused by influx of low quality products.